hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked Krishna, how is it possible that you instructed this Gyan Yoga to some god? He took birth long before you. Then Krishna said, we all have had many births. I remember them all, but you don't. Because there is difference. I am omniscient Supreme Lord and you are Jiva. So you cannot remember. And then he said, I appear in this world when when a religion goes up and a religion goes down. To establish a religion I come, and to protect the sadhus and to destroy the wicked I come. So we heard Avatar, and he appears in India because Varna Ashram Dharma is practiced there in these avatars. Nrishinga, Ram, Vaman, or this Krishna appeared in India, but it is not that he appears only in India. He appears also in other places where there are Yavanas, Mlechas, and all other who are outcasts. As a Shakti Avesh avatar, means he empowers some living being to preach religion according to their capacity. So there are some imperfect conclusions there, but something is better than nothing for gradual development. When there in these parts of the world, yes. He appears when their religion also, when it goes down, that time to uplift religion according to that eligibility, he also uplifts by Shakti Avesh Avatar. Now also I was singing in Kirtan before I started recording, Swayang Bhagavan Krishna Vishnu Paratattva. Krishna is original Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom all other forms are coming. This is verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Vishnu Paratattva. He is supreme among all Vishnu Tattvas, means omnipotent Supreme Lord. Vishnu means one who is all-pervading. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Vishnu Paratattva. Purna Gyan Purna Nanda Parama Mahatva. He has full knowledge, Purna Gyan, or he is fully aware of everything, conscious of everything. Purna Gyan, Purna Ananda, and fully blissful. And Parama Mahatva, supreme truth. And glory. And Nanda Sutta Boli Jare, Bhagavate Gaire. What Srimad Bhagavatam sings about, sings the glories of Nanda Sutta, means son of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Sutta Boli Jare, Bhagavate Gaire, Sei Krishna Avatirno, Chaitanya Gosaire. One of whom Bhagavatam sings as son of Nanda Maharaj. This same Krishna, Sei Krishna Avatirno, he now descended as Chaitanya Gosai. So here Krishna, this is also what Krishna is speaking. Also he is speaking about Gaur Avatar. Although Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they are avatari. They are not avatar, but they descend. But their avatari means original forms. So when their religion goes up and the religion goes down, at that time Mahaprabhu also appears to establish a religion of this age, Kali Yuga, dharma, which is nama sankirtan. But in this avatar, he is not killing the demons as in other avatars, but killing only demoniac mentality in jivas by distributing harinam. That is his weapon. And where there is no varna ashram dharma, there is to be found no nishkama karma yoga, no jnana yoga, which is the fruit of nishkama karma yoga, not to speak of bhakti yoga, the ultimate goal of all yogas. The slightest tinge of bhakti that is manifested among the low-born is attributed to the sudden devotional faith accruing from the grace of my loyal devotees. This also can happen, that one may get awakenment of devotion by the grace of. Tomorrow we will hear, although he did not undergo all those previous steps, tomorrow we will hear about Raya Ramananda, his disappearance day. There, Mahaprabhu showed this when he was asking what is the goal of life and how to achieve it. Then, first proposals which Ramananda Rai was giving, Mahaprabhu said it is all external. Only when he came to the point of Jnana Shunya Bhakti, when someone hears about Krishna from pure devotee's lips and awakens faith in him and serves him, at this point Mahaprabhu said yes, Eho hoy. Because here Mahaprabhu's contribution or teaching starts. He is giving opportunity of devotion through sadhu sangha to all. No need of those prior steps. That is why also all over the world it is possible to do this. Here there is no varnashram dharma in Europe or America, or no varnashram. So we have no chance. No, we have chance by getting sadhu sangha given by Mahaprabhu and immediately start Shravan Kirtan. Now further, this commentary goes, I establish Varna Ashram Dharma through the agency of my devotees, viz. The Rajarshis and the Brahmarshis, endowed with my potency of establishing Yuga Dharma in them. In Bhagavatam, we find Rajarshis, they are saintly kings. In Puranic Charitavali also, it is said, sages, they are Brahma Rishis, and saints, Brahma Rishis, and Rajarshis, they are saintly kings. So through them, by giving them the power to do so, empowering them, he establishes Yuga Dharma. Protection of my devotees from the tyrannical oppression of the atheists necessitates my descent. And I descend as Yuga Avatar in order to preserve the sadhus, destroy the asuras, and re-establish the Yuga Dharma of Shravan Kirtan of the holy name, the eternal religion of every jiva. I descend in every age. I descend even in Kali Yuga, the black age of sin and sorrow. I did not know this will come in commentary, but I was inspired to speak about Mahaprabhu. So it is coming. Kali Yuga Avatar Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu establishes the eternal religion of divine love, very rarely found, by means of Nama Sankirtan. But this avatar, though he stands foremost among all my descents, remains concealed from the gaze of the world. Like, gaze means sight, like you gaze. There is some yoga, sun gazing. They are seeing into the sun. So it is concealed from the gaze of the world. Mahaprabhu Avatar. My sincere and loyal devotees are naturally attracted by the truth, beauty, love, and harmony of the doctrine of Nama Sankirtan, propounded by that Juga Avatar, and this you will realize when you will appear with me in that age. Who is that? Who knows? Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, and here he is telling him, you will realize when you appear with me in that age. Who? Tomorrow we will hear. That is Raya Ramananda. In one sense. Because in Raya Ramananda, so many identities are there inside. One of them is Arjuna, this Pandava Arjuna. Because his father, Bhavananda Rai, is Pandu, and he has 5 sons. One of them is Raya Ramananda, and he is Arjuna, this Pandava Arjuna. The most wonderful feature of this descent of mine is that this descent blesses not only the sadhus, but even the most devilish characters with divine love, by making them sing the glories of the holy name, and not by killing them outright, as in my former descents. Jagai Madai, Mahaprabhu did not kill them. He wanted to kill, but that was only to show that Nityananda would remind him, no, in this avatar we will not kill the demons, but only their demoniac qualities. So they did not kill Jagai Madai, and they gave him them prem. And that is great display of munificent. Jagai Madai, they were so sinful that there was no end in their list how many sins they committed. That Yamaraja's secretary, who is writing everything, he said there is no end to. But they were rescued by Harinam. Mahaprabhu took all those sins, everything, on himself, and they became pure devotees, Mahabhagavat. This is great display of mercy, but even greater than this is, our Gurudev told, when Mahaprabhu rescued Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya from Mayavat and rescued Prakashananda Saraswati from Mayavat. That is more dangerous, because outwardly looks like good, and they are renounced and sattvic like this, but very great offenses. They are denying the eternality of form of Supreme Lord, and denying the eternality of devotion, denying the eternality of devotees. All these they are denying, and they are claiming we are supreme truth. That is most detrimental to our natural function. That is why to rescue such is the greatest display of magnanimity seen in Mahaprabhu only. Janma karma chame divyam evam jo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naitimam eti sorjuna. O Arjuna, whoever realizes the transcendental birth and deeds of mine truly and really does not take rebirth after that and attains me. Explanation: whosoever can realize by following the method of discriminating truth from untruth, that my birth and deeds are absolutely divine, that I descend out of my own free will through the agency of my Yoga Maya in this Mayic world, not being cognized by the limited human senses and not being in the least engrossed by the influence of my Mahamaya, like the fallen souls, since I am the Lord of my Maya, is never subject to rebirth after death, but attains my eternal confidential loving service in the blissful realm under the guidance of my internal exhilarating Chit potency. One who realizes this truth about Krishna by his grace, then he will have no rebirth, because all other desires will be destroyed and only service of Krishna will remain, so he can go to transcendental realm. Exhilarating means increasing pleasure. Chit potency. Tomorrow also we'll hear Mahaprabhu said to Ramananda Rai, I want to hear Harikatha from you, Krishna Katha. Then Ramananda said, I am a Shudra, I don't know. Then Mahaprabhu said, it is very famous, Kiba Shudra, Kiba Nyasi. No, Kiba, I forgot now the beginning. Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kenanoi, Jai Krishna Tattva Veta, say Guru Hoy. Yes, Kiba Bipra, Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kenanoi, Jai Krishna Tattva Veta, say Guru Hoy. Whether he is a Brahmin or Shudra or Sannyasi or householder or whatever, it doesn't matter. One who knows the truth, Krishna Tattva Veta, one who knows the truth about Krishna, here Krishna says, this is the truth about me. Say Guru Hoy. He is Guru, one who knows Krishna. He is liberated and he can liberate others also. So here Krishna saying, whoever can realize, whosoever, maybe female, male, or anything, it doesn't matter, but one who will realize this truth, we may hear, theoretically we may accept, believe, but one who will directly perceive that truth, who will see, then naturally he will have devotion to him. Then he is liberated and he can liberate others. He is Guru. This is the qualification of Guru, one who knows the Tattva of Krishna. On the other hand, whoever infers on the strength of his empiric knowledge, this worldly experience knowledge, if he tries to infer that my divine birth, deeds, and the most attractive divine human form revealed in the phenomenal world are ephemeral and temporal, must suffer the bitter consequences of births and deaths, deluded by the three qualities of my Mahamaya. One who thinks Krishna is born, he stayed for some time, then he was killed, so he's temporary. Why you were saying? So one who has such conception, he must undergo material existence. Such worldly-minded people are, by nature, strongly attached to the transient fruits of their fruitive actions. Unalloyed devotion cannot be awakened in them without the grace of my genuine devotees. But by the grace of Krishna's genuine devotees, it is possible to awaken devotion in fallen jivas. So, evam joveti tattvataha, one who knows the truth about me, means my janma and karma, my birth and my activities, that they are divine, then he will not be reborn. So Mahaprabhu told to Ramananda Rai, you know the truth about Krishna, so you can speak about Krishna to me, you can be guru, you can rescue me. Guru, bona fide guru will give knowledge. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa putamad bhavam agataha. Absolved from passion, fear and anger, steadfastly attached to and having taken absolute shelter in me, many a person purified by the penance and the cultivation of transcendental knowledge has attained my divine love. Explanation. The three motives, viz. Attachment for worldly enjoyments, fear and anger, cause ignorant people to go astray from the right path and deprive them of the transcendental knowledge regarding my divine birth, deeds and form. Those whose intelligence has been badly blunted by mundane thoughts and ideas are so profoundly absorbed in and addicted to materialism that they cannot even think of or admit that there exists any eternal entity in the mundane plane. They hold nature to be the highest principle. Some of them maintain that matter is the cause of all spiritual principle. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj used this word, fossilism. They believe that from fossil, gradually it developed and then consciousness was produced. Life, consciousness, and this consciousness then imagined some God or something. But it is just the opposite. God eternally exists and everything he is showing, everything he is revealing, he created this fossil and all these things. Some of them maintain that matter is the cause of all spiritual principle, but it is not. Spiritual principle is the cause of matter. These empiricists, nature worshippers, and advocates of lifeless ethics cannot, therefore, attain transcendental knowledge of divine love, being deluded by my Maic potency. Lifeless ethics means without relation to God. We have to do good activities because to serve God and not do bad activities, not to displease God. If there is only like that stage of moral atheists, that is lifeless ethics, like Buddhists, They don't want to kill, they don't want to steal, they don't want to lie, because they fear reaction and they cannot be liberated. But all that sort of morality is lifeless. It is not related to the service of Krishna. That comes on next stage, theistic moralists. Though some thinkers accept the spiritual principles as eternal, yet they cannot realize them as such, since they deny the principle of transcendental knowledge and lay much stress upon mundane reasoning. The result is that they carefully abandon and eliminate all possible attributes and actions from Brahman and try to imagine an attributeless, anti-material and undeterminable Brahman, which is no other than the negative, impersonal aspect of my eternal positive personality, and is therefore a non-material manifestation of my Maya. This Nirvishesh, impersonal Brahman, is not my eternal form. Lest a material conception should prevail over their meditation and thought reflection about me, the advocates of Brahma Gyan, means abstract knowledge, desist out of such fear from contemplating upon my divine beautiful human form and worshipping my holy image, and are therefore deprived of my divine love. They're afraid if we will think about some form like this, then that will not be this supreme Nirvishesh Brahma, according to them, that is supreme. Because they are not, they lay much stress upon mundane reasoning, so they come to such conclusion, and they imagine that is the supreme reality. So they desist from, they don't want to think of Krishna's divine beautiful human form out of fear and worshipping his deity, so they are deprived of Krishna's divine love. Others again, being unable to transcend the limits of time and space, decide out of anger upon void, means shunya, or nirvana, that is to say, cessation of all perceptions and conceptions, otherwise called annihilation of animation, as the ultimate goal of human existence. Buddhism and Jainism are the offsprings of this principle of nirvana. I met one, and I felt such genuine compassion after I heard from him that ultimate goal is when you don't exist anymore. When you don't exist anymore, that is the ultimate goal. So when I heard this from him, and really he believes that, then I felt genuine compassion for him. Genuine. So away from actual benefit. Our goal is to attain Krishna's service in our eternal form. Our eternal identity is there, and Krishna's eternal identity, when we serve him, we are fully, absolutely blissful. That is the fulfillment of every jiva. But he is trying to attain that all problems will be solved when you will not exist anymore. And that is the ultimate goal. So I felt genuine compassion, but it is very difficult to explain to someone if he has no sukriti. So they want to attain this void or nirvana. Nirvana means annihilation of existence, annihilation of animation. Many truly wise men, without indulging in these mental speculations and being free from mundane attachment, the fear of being called idol worshippers and anger for being afflicted with animation take absolute shelter in me and are purified by the fire of transcendental knowledge regarding myself. So again, many truly wise men, without indulging in these mental speculations, they were mentioned. Some are thinking this, that, this is. So without indulging in these mental speculations and being free from mundane attachment, and also being free of the fear of being called idol worshippers by those impersonalists, you are idol worshipper. There is no real God's form. You are idol worshipper. That is temporary. So with giving up this fear that they will ridicule me, like Sarvam Bhattacharya, he was ridiculing Raya Ramananda. You are a Vaishnava. That is low class. That is for beginners. Ultimately, is you have to meditate in person. So he was ridiculing him. You are a Vaishnava. So if someone is afraid of such ridiculing, then he cannot be Vaishnava. You have to be free from this fear of being criticized as, or you are low, because Vaishnava has no desire for getting respect and does not mind any criticism or nothing. He has no desire for respect. But if someone has desire for respect, then he will fear this opinion and he will not worship. But devotees will worship, even though whole world may say whatever they like. But then, when Sarvam Bhattacharya got the grace of Mahaprabhu, then he himself said to Mahaprabhu, I have one request. Without fail, you have to meet Raya Ramananda. At first, I was ridiculing him, thinking he's a Vaishnava, that low class. But now, by your grace, I realize that what kind of person he is. He's topmost person. Everything about him is transcendental, but that I could not understand. What he was worshipping and he himself is transcendent, that I could not understand. So you have to meet him. So you have to be free of fear of being called idol worshipper and anger. Buddhists, they will be angry on you for being afflicted with animation. You are afflicted by animation, by life, by activity and like this. Then you have to give up all that. You have to come to void, to zero. There should be no activity, nothing. But the thing is, devotees, they are eternally active. There is eternal activity. There is eternal lila of Krishna, and all devotees, they are eternally active in the service of Krishna. So Buddhists will say, because they want to stop all animation, all life, all everything they want to destroy. So they will be angry on you. Why you are indulging in this? That is useless. you have to stop everything. So they will be angry. Like they were angry on Mahaprabhu when he refuted all their arguments. They became angry on him and they wanted to harm him. But ultimately they got the fruit of their action, and ultimately by the grace of Mahaprabhu they got Krishna Prem by his grace. So the Gyanis, they will say, you are idol worshippers, and the Buddhists will be angry on you. Why you are so much active? Why you want activity? So one who is free from all these things, they take absolute shelter in me and are purified by the fire of transcendental knowledge regarding myself. Such persons can conceive my form, attributes, deeds, entourage, and kingdom as divine, eternal. Behold my divine existence in everything and everything in me. They see Krishna in everything and everything within Krishna, and thus attain divine love, the summum bonum of human life. This is the ultimate goal which we have to get in human life. We got this opportunity of human life only to achieve this. Direct darshan, direct perception of Krishna's eternal name, form, attributes, pastimes, everything. And also, not only in Nityalila, but Krishna is present in this world also, everywhere. And everything is present in him. Those who are fully realized souls, they can perceive this, and they are serving Krishna, they are in divine love. Transcendental divine love. Although divine is already appropriate words, but sometimes some conditioned souls, they misunderstand also. Divine for them means something like great. So it happened when Gurudev was in France, I think in Saint-Tropez, I think, Gurudev told. He was speaking Harikatha about divine love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then one lady, she came to him at the end and said, yes, Swamiji, I agree. Divine love is the highest thing. Then Gurudev said, oh, really, you appreciate, you admit? Yes, yes. This relationship between man and woman, this sex relation, this divine love, that is the highest. Then Gurudev was surprised. Oh, she misunderstood. Only hearing that word, divine love, she's having her own conception. What is this? And thinking he's speaking about that. And that is why she was appreciating, agreeing, because her own conception she was having. But Gurudev's then he said, no, that is not what I was speaking about. I was speaking about transcendental, means beyond this mundane world, transcendental divine love. That is soul to God. That, so after that, Gurudev preferred to use transcendental divine love. Not only divine love, but transcendental divine love, to avoid such confusion in some. But even transcendental word, Gurudev found in dictionary, it is not totally at par with what he is saying. Transcendental. There is some other definition which is not totally same, but one has to know the explanation. Transcendental means spiritual, beyond all mundane, gross and subtle, and this. So they can get. Those who are free from all mental speculation and free from mundane attachment, and they are not fearing of being called idol worshippers, and they are not minding the anger of Buddhists who are saying, why you want to act? You are diseased with this. So they take absolute shelter in Krishna, and they are purified by the fire of transcendental knowledge regarding myself. They can directly get darshan of everything of Krishna, and they attain divine love, transcendental divine love. Je jatha mam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushyah parta sarvashaha. This is also a famous verse. I reciprocate the worship of those persons exactly in the same way in which they offer submission to me. O Partha, people follow my path in all possible ways. Explanation. I always reciprocate the worship of my devotees exactly in the forum in which it is offered by them. The central path, therefore, O Partha, is my path, the ultimate goal of all paths followed by men of various creeds or communities. Those who are my pure devotees are eternally engaged in rendering confidential loving service to my Satchit Ananda Vigraha in my transcendental realm, and are therefore endowed with eternal bliss. Then those who, being impersonalists, worship me, the Absolute, as an attributeless, abstract Brahman, are offered nirvana mukti, or total absorption in my negative aspect by way of self-annihilation. There are three types of self-annihilations, three types of nirvana. One is by the Buddhists, that is Prakriti Nirvana. They merge into matter, unmanifested matter, that Prakriti. When it is not active, that Biraja river, they want to merge there and lose all sense of individuality. Any material individual, nothing. They merge. They identify with that unmanifest material nature. There is no action there. No, that is why called Biraja. No Raja, no Rajoguna, no action. No creation, no nothing. Only that, like a river, like water. So Gurudev said that plane is free of waves of suffering which exist in this world. When we try to enjoy, then the reaction is there. Then there are waves of sufferings. But if you have no desire to enjoy, and there is no creation, no action, no Rajaguna, nothing, then you are in that platform, Prakriti Nirvana, by Buddhist, that is without waves of suffering. Gurudev said that is still ignorance, and there is suffering is there, because we are soul, so there is still some covering there of matter, but there is no waves of sufferings. But then there are two types of transcendental self-annihilations. One is to merge oneself into impersonal Brahman, that Jyoti, light coming from Krishna's form. There also you don't feel any specific individuality. You are merged in that mass of light, and there is no you, me, or anything, just that. And another is Paramatma Nirvana. You merge yourself into Paramatma. They are all nirvanas, removal of individuality. So, total absorption in my negative aspect by way of self-annihilation in that impersonal Jyoti aspect, so they attain this. In consequence of their denial of the eternal existence of my transcendental beautiful human form, they are deprived of the knowledge of their eternal blissful existence. Like in mirror, you can see yourself. Like that, when you come in contact with Swarup Shakti, which is non-different from Krishna. Swarup Shakti is revealing Krishna and revealing other things, then you can see yourself also, your real individual self in relation to Krishna. But they are not having contact with transcendental form of Krishna, so they also cannot perceive their own transcendental eternal form in relation to Krishna. They are deprived of the knowledge of their eternal blissful existence. Some of them, because of their want of confidence in me, I throw to the cycle of births and rebirths. Brahma said in 10th canto, they are these strivers. They want to attain liberation, highest position according to them, but they have no faith in Krishna, no confidence in him, and they are not taking shelter. So they will fall down from that position because of want of confidence in him. Gurudev said, because they think I got this position by my own effort, independently of anyone. But that is not true. Even that position you got by the will of Krishna. He's giving the fruits. Nothing can happen without his approval, without his sanction. So they are denying this. So in order to get that lesson, in order to get that teaching, that there is someone superior to them exists, they have to fall down. They don't want, but they have to realize that they are not supreme. And that is beneficial for them. They already think I am supreme. So then why he will fall down? Why he must fall down due to that offense? Then he realizes there is some superior force. And the three, to the advocates of the theory of void, I appear as void and make their existence merged in the void. That is also Krishna, that Biraja river. It is his potency. Like Brahma Jyoti is Krishna, sometimes it is said that those demons and those killed by Krishna, they attain Krishna. It means they attain him in the form of Brahman. And Prakriti is potency of Krishna. Potency is non-different from Krishna. So in that sense, Krishna appears to them as void, as that Prakriti, and they merge in that void. So for them, that void is God. For Buddhists, ultimate reality is that void. Nothing is superior than that. And they sometimes they call that as God, like as supreme reality. But of course, they are not having that conception of God like some person is there. Then there are others, to those who, being worshippers of nature, or being empiricists or elevationists, they want to higher and higher material position, wrongly identify themselves as entities born of nature, as their real self has been enveloped by my Maya I appear as different objects of nature to be enjoyed by their mundane senses. So in that case, Krishna is these objects. They think I am from nature, I came into nature, I will go. That is all. Enjoyment is the only thing. So for them, Krishna is this material nature. 5. To the car means I appear as the giver of the fruits of their actions. 6. To the yogins, I offer vibhutis, means superhuman psychic powers, as God, or Kaivalya Siddhi, as fruits of their severe austerities. These siddhis, mystical powers and superhuman powers, he gives them. In this way, as the omnipotent form, I am the ultimate end of all religions or creeds, of all paths. Bhakti Marga, or the path of unalloyed loving devotion to me, is the first and foremost. All men follow me and my path as one without a second, either spiritually, that is to say, enlightened by spiritual knowledge, or materially, that is to say, wrongly identifying themselves with matter. So everyone is following Krishna only. Only one path, because he's one and one without a second. So according to their religion, according to their present eligibility and way of worshipping, in that way Krishna reciprocates, because everything is he. So either they are on spiritual platform or on material platform, but matter is also, all these things is Krishna only, his potency. So he is sense objects for enjoyment, he is Biraja river Prakriti, he is Brahman, he is Paramatma, he is everything. He is nature also. And he is the one who gives the fruits to karmis. So according to how we worship him, that is how he reveals himself to us. But all are following only him. You cannot be outside of Krishna, jurisdiction of Krishna, because nothing is outside of Krishna. Tomorrow we will hear about Raya Ramananda, and then we will further hear Gita.